Warren Fiscal Court, Friday, July 12th, 2019 is now called to order. I want to welcome Elder Todd Crosby with the Mission Church of Bowling Green and ask everyone to please stand as Elder Crosby leads us in prayer, and I'd like to ask everyone to please remain standing afterwards for Esquire Mark Young to lead us in the pledge. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. Please pray with me. Lord God, we come here this morning in humility and gratefulness, Lord God. We come in humility, acknowledging our dependence upon you and seeking your wisdom that we may live our lives and serve our community in a way that is pleasing and honoring to you. Lord God, we come to you in gratefulness. Gratefulness, Lord God, for this community, for these men and women who serve you faithfully, and in doing so, Lord God, they represent you and they glorify you in that. So I would pray, Jesus, that you would give them wisdom and discernment in all that they do, that we would do what is right, and that we would do what is just, and that we would ultimately do what is glorifying to you. So we ask, Lord God, for your guidance in that today as we meet to serve your community. And ultimately, Lord God, we desire to express our love for you. We just want you to know how much we love you and acknowledge how much you love us, knowing that the ultimate expression of that is the sacrifice of your Son, Jesus Christ. Lord God, it is in his name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please place your flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Here.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire
Here.
McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Here.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Here.
Need to approve the minutes of the fiscal court meeting of June 21st, 2019. Have a motion to approve. Motion by Squire Gorman, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Additions or corrections? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Young. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes,
Esquire
ma'am.
Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, we need to approve personnel changes for Warren County.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Payne, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve agreement with resolution number 1911 between Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet, Department of Rural and Municipal Aid, and Warren County for utilizing Rural Road Secondary Program funds. We have a motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Everyone has a copy of this. Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is a good time to stop here before we get into the meat of the agenda. Our friend Joe Plunk is with us today and has a special guest, Secretary Greg Thomas of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet. And we're awfully proud to have all of you all here with us from the Transportation Cabinet. But I believe you all had a special announcement to make. Secretary?
Thank you, Judge, and thank you again for the opportunity to address this group. As you recall, I think it was back in February we met, and at that time I was talking about the governor's focus on infrastructure and how it related to jobs, jobs, jobs. We're, I think, around 53,000 plus jobs and over 20 billion of investment in the state. And the governor recognizes that we don't just have our 28,000 miles of state highway to look at in terms of commerce and jobs, but we have 80,000 miles when you look at the city and county systems as well. So I'm here today to follow up on the kind of the conversation we've had in terms of discretionary fund requests. The legislature appropriates some funding to the governor for his discretion, and he's decided to focus on primarily the county roads, road system, and the city road systems. So, but I'll be real quick, and then Joe, there's a lot of activity with SHIFT, with Bridging Kentucky, and I think quite a bit going on in Warren County. So if it's okay, then Joe will just give a brief update. But I'm here to announce that the governor has approved 3 roads: the Blue Level Providence Road paving, the Old Green Hill Road paving, and the Hayes Smith Grove Road paving, for a total of $829,150, and that's a total of 14.4 miles. So
That's
thank
incredible.
you, Judge. Appreciate the opportunity to work with you, partner with you, and just thank you.
Thank you so much.
Judge Buchanan, members of the Fiscal Court, it's always a pleasure to be here. It's hard to follow that announcement, but I'll do my best to just provide you a thumbnail sketch of what's going on in Warren County with transportation. Interstate 165, Natcher Expressway. It's okay to call it Natcher. It's still the Natcher Expressway. You know that we have a lot of projects going on. It's the season of the Orange Barrel, and that's okay. That means there's a lot of good things happening in Warren County. The modernization project that included widening the bridge over the railroad, ramp, tapers, guardrails, rock walls, all that is just about complete. The signing project is also complete. Every sign in Warren County is up now that designates the Natcher Expressway as Interstate 165. There's a new project that's coming along, and that's resurfacing. You've already seen some of that from Morgantown Road Exit 7 up to the Butler-Warren line. That's mile marker 18.2, so it's 11 miles of resurfacing of the Natcher Expressway. The Gasper River Bridge is already down to 1 lane in each direction because of some overlays. That work will be going on all through the fall. Happy to announce, too, that Highway 526 at US 31W there at Warren East campus, that project is scheduled to be open for bids this month in two weeks. Those are intersection improvements, $250,000 of improvements that will add lanes on 526, turn lanes there at Warren East and at the signal at 31W. Also, Highway 2632, that's Hammett Hill Road, the bridge over Salt Lick Creek. That's part of the Bridging Kentucky initiative. That's 1,000 bridges across the state that are signed or posted to where, in many cases, school buses and emergency vehicles cannot cross. Governor Bevin has been intent on fixing these bridges within a very short time frame, and Warren County has a few of those, and Hammett Hill Road Bridge has already been let to contract. Scott and Murphy has that contract. They will begin later this fall. There will be a 45-day closure. Obviously, there'll be impacts to traffic, and you may get some calls about that, but I wanted you to know about that ahead of time. 31W Louisville Road out at the Trans Park. We're still working. You see that the connection was made late last year from exit 30 up to Louisville Road, and that was definitely a milestone. But we're setting the stage for the future 4-laning of Louisville Road. That's from Warren East all the way out to Misspaw Road. You've seen some of that work going on. We still have some property to buy. We still have utilities to move closer to US 68 in the Trans Park, but you already see some of that taking shape there with the future 4-lane. Finally, I'll mention SHIFT. Secretary Thomas mentioned the Strategic Highway Investment Formula for tomorrow. That's the prioritization plan. That's how we're getting projects into the next year's budget cycle. It's a data-driven, objective approach that looks at all of our projects and scores those. And we will be meeting with the Metropolitan Planning Organization on July 22nd. That's a Monday at 1 p.m. at Planning Commission conference room upstairs. We really need all of you to be there. This is an opportunity for us to look at those scores and boost projects that we really intend to see in next year's budget cycle. And SHIFT will be moving forward throughout this year to where the Transportation Cabinet will be recommending a highway plan, and the governor will, of course, release that in the next session. So that's exciting to see. I also failed to mention that I have a few other folks with us today. Mark Welch, you know Mark, he's from the Office of Rural and Municipal Aid, field representative, and he's with us. Wes Watt is our Public Information Officer. He's very good at communicating all that's going on in the region, and I ask that if you don't already, please follow him on social media, and you can stay in touch with all that's happening in Warren County. Happy to take any questions that you may have.
Joe, could you tell us what's going on right now with the project on 185?
Highway 185, that's Richardsville Road. We are in the midst of acquiring some rights-of-way on what I'll call Phase 1, which is the Runner Road, Penns Chapel Road section, numerous curves in that section, so we're acquiring rights-of-way. I can foresee that project being let to construction first. It does depend on how that falls into next year's budget, the highway plan, but that one is moving along. So you're gonna hear from folks that we're dealing with, we're buying property from on that first section. The second section, or the Phase 2, is what we call Snake Hill, so from the cemetery down to the Green River Bridge. That one is still in a design phase. Hopefully it'll move, I feel strong that it'll move forward into the next budget cycle to keep that project moving.
Thank you.
Hey, Joe, what time did you say that meeting was? The 22nd?
1 p.m.
1?
And it's open to the public. I encourage you to reach out to constituents too.
Planning and zoning.
Invite Planning and Zoning, Planning Commission, the conference room upstairs.
This is the TAC or the MPO Policy Board.
This will be the Technical Advisory Committee, open to the public, and this is where, as a group of professionals, we look at these, we take public input, and make decisions on prioritizing projects for the future.
Any other questions? Well, let me just say, first of all, I can't tell you how much I appreciate the working relationship that we have with you, Joe, and with the district, and particularly with the Transportation Cabinet and the governor. This is a little more than we expected, and it's certainly something that we're very proud of. I know that the governor really emphasizes roads and transportation to and from places to work, but the good thing is he also understands that you have to travel these county roads to get to work or to get your children to school safely. And I really appreciate the fact that, because all three of these roads in this discretionary fund are roads that need improvements, as you know, as are those in the flex funds. Together, this is considerably over $1 million, and it's needed. $829,000 out on this fund with those roads. One of them was applied for before, and we're very appreciative of that. Could I get you to do me one quick favor?
Of course.
Could you and the secretary and Mark, anyone from the Transportation Cabinet come up for a photograph? Yes, please.
We can send it to you. You can have up there.
Okay, all right.
Okay, everybody look at me. 1, 2, 3. We're going to do one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now I think it's moving along. That's okay. I know. Just in case. I know. I'm like, okay.
That's 30 cents was good all year long.
I'm sorry.
By the time them guys stop,
We're down to numbers.
Yeah, we're getting ready for the
Did they approve this who made the motions on 7?
No, Marie, see, we had to add that
Finally.
in the resolution.
Okay.
We have,
Okay, 1911, yeah.
Say it one more time. Energy, John Waddle, energy. You know, Operation Pride has a presentation. Operation Pride has a presentation. Okay. That's okay.
Okay, just wanted, we have a couple of guests from South Warren High School who are with us today who are shadowing our county attorney. So if I could ask you, Ms. Hale, to get a photograph. I'm going to make y'all stand up. I'd like to recognize Stephanie Mills, who's a teacher at South Warren, and Easton Reynolds, who's a student at South Warren, who is, did I mispronounce either one of your names? No. Okay. Who's a student at South Warren who's here shadowing Miss Milliken, and
Who's gonna go to Western? Yay.
who's going to go to
Western.
Western. And we're happy to have you all here, and I just wanted to get a photograph with you all. If you would please stand up.
Mike, they're not shadowing you.
Pardon me?
you want us to get up there?
Let's go ahead.
Tony, there's a camera out. You can't just,
What's a picture's got to start getting so you can't never quit. That's a nice picture. Yeah, if they've been in the middle of the picture, they're going to go out and the picture. That's a brick all right.
Pleasure to see you. Glad y'all are here.
Thank you for having us.
Jay Leno with this man.
Okay. All right. And now we have our friend from Operation Pride, William Henderson, who's here with us today to make a presentation. We're awfully proud to have you here with us. Welcome back. We'll need to.
come on, Nikki. Be a hero.
Is it plugged in good?
We have a
Do I just start?
Go ahead.
All right, cool. All right, you all. So my name is William Henderson, of course. I met you all a couple weeks ago with Angie. She's not able to be here right now. She's actually at a wedding in Chicago. But we would like to thank you all, of course, for letting me get the chance to come up here and present an award. You know, thank you, Judge Buchanan, and the rest of the magistrates, and of course, Ms. Hill, because she helps a lot. But today we are presenting the award to Ms. Nisa Richardson back here, her and her son, Kellen. Ms. Nisa Richardson, she is a part of the Peachtree Downs neighborhood, which is in District 1 with Mr. Doug Gorman. Ms. Nisa, she is a teacher, she's a mother, and she's a wife, but she also took the time to go out of her way to improve her neighborhood and bring pride and, you know, pretty much do everything that we do in our mission in her neighborhood. So she's pretty special. But I'll begin. So what she did was she went around and she raised money for her welcome sign in her neighborhood. So as you can see, it's kind of worn down. It's not really bright. It doesn't really pop. There's no landscape around it. It's just not really the best first impression that you want in your community, in your neighborhood. And then, so she went around door to door. She raised money. She reached out to Mr. Gorman. Mr. Gorman then connected her with Operation Pride, and her and Angie worked together, and they put this together. So what they did, fresh paint. It's beautiful. They have landscape around it. There's also lights that help, you know, reflect the sign at night. And I just think she did a great job. And here it is at night, so it's pretty visible. So it's a great first impression to the neighborhood. She made the change. So I'll go back to the original sign. So yeah. But I promised I wouldn't put her on the spot, but we did go and take the time to make a really cool award. And it's not like the rest of the awards. It's in this really, really cool glass frame. And we don't give out citizen awards often, and I've never really been a part of it. I'm fairly new, but you'll be the only one that gets it this year. But I would love to congratulate you, me, and everybody else, and Angie, of course, she would love to be here. But we appreciate the work that you did. We hope that other people see what you did, and they're inspired to make improvements to their neighborhoods as well. You are a leader, and I hope that people follow. So I'd like to present you with this, okay? All right, you all. But that's the end of the presentation. Also, if you all do know of anybody that you would love to nominate for these awards, it's contact information.
Bring that young man with you,
Oh, y'all can see her. I'm just sitting. And if I'm here, I'm going. Hey, where'd she go? Good.
One, two, three. One more. One, two, three.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Congratulations. That's a great job.
Eyes out. He's out. I just make it bigger. Yeah, so.
All right. Pardon me? Thank you.
Who was he talking about, Mr. Doug Gorman?
Pardon me?
Who was he talking about, Mr. Doug Gorman? I don't know it.
Is that what you said?
Yeah. He was impersonating Mr.
That'll never happen.
Okay. Now we've been the recipient of all these good things. We're kind of a recipient on this next one, but we're also giving away a little something. So I'd like to ask Maureen Carpenter with Bowling Green. Well, she's with the BG Chamber, with ITA, with a number of. She wears a number of other hats, but She's here today for item number 8 on the agenda, which is to approve Resolution 1910, projects requested under RDAAP, and this are lots 26 and 27 at the Transpark ITA. If you'd like to kind of give them a quick rundown on, with what you can share.
All right, so good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here. So we're excited about this. We worked very closely with our legislative advocacy group and our economic development partners across the state to have an additional allocation for economic development projects through the TVA funding for their pilot agreement that they have with the state. So that is where these funds are coming from, and it's really meant to improve infrastructure and develop industrial sites. So we have had lots 26 and 27 in the Trans Park that previously we have not done a lot of development on because it wasn't really accessible. But now with the I-65 connector road, that's going to give us access to these sites and to develop them, and they're also close to the rail. So we have put together a proposal for due diligence on that, which includes a topographical survey, the geotechnical work, phase 1 environmental. The request was for $51,282 that would come from those TVA funds with an ITA match of $11,218.
Do y'all have any questions?
Make a motion.
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
Squire Cummings, second Squire McWhorter. Discussion? Questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you for your support.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Okay. Next item is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 1925 rezoning property at 5530 Woodburn Allen Springs Road from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 2.006 acres and presently owned by David and Leslie Whitty. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty, the next item is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 1926, rezoning property at 1237 Old Deering Road from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 5.16 acres and presently owned by Earl Cole.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 1927, establishing Royal Court located in Kingston Point subdivision as a county road and authorizing maintenance thereon and setting the speed limit thereon.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion? Questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve first reading of ordinance 1928 to rezone property located at the northwest corner of Mount Olivet Road and Mount Olivet Gherkin Road from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 8.394 acres and presently owned by Matthew and Adrian Hardy and Jeff and Shelley Anderson. Motion by Squire Young. Second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
The next item is to approve the 211 report for May 2019.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Payne. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is simply to make part of the record a certificate of liability insurance for J.C. Brewer Construction, Inc., Clean Earth, Inc., and Kimway Contracting. If there are no objections, that's hereby ordered to be entered into the record. Item number 15 is to approve the May 2019 Treasurers Report.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Payne. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire
Yes,
McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve first reading of ordinance 1929, authorizing a lighting agreement between Warren Rural Electric Cooperative Corporation and the Vinings.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
First reading. Item number 17 is to approve determination in the amount of $6,426 to the Agency for Substance Abuse for Keep a Clear Mind curriculum for area schools, and this is paid for through a grant.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Payne. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young. Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is to grant authority to advertise for 4 fire trucks, fire engines for the Warren County Volunteer Fire Departments.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
The next item is to grant judge executive authority to sign the agency appropriation agreement for the Drug Task Force for the City of Bowling Green, providing $75,000 in funding.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young, second Squire Payne. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to grant authority to advertise for a night custodial position for the Warren County Justice Center. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item, number 21, is to approve the extension of another year for Pro Lawn and Landscape to continue with the mowing contract at the same price of $70,200 for the Warren County Parks Department.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Payne. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to grant authority to advertise for the purchase of a washer and dryer for the Warren County Regional Jail.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Payne. Discussion or questions? Yes, sir.
It's actually a bid process to replace all 4 of each of those in the laundry room that does about 90% of the facility's laundry. Those machines are about 20 years old. The life expectancy is about 18. I got 2 of them down now that are not operational, so We're going to try to do this fairly quickly, and then that's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $70,000 to $90,000 project, which will be paid for from the capital improvement money that we got from signing the Securus contract. So it'll be no additional unbudgeted money. This is from those funds.
Part of that same bond issue.
It's not a bond. This was from re-signing the Securus contract. Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. Congratulations.
Anything else?
Okay. And so let me make sure I understand this correctly. It reads here for the purchase of a washer and dryer. Did you say there are 4 washers and dryers?
There are 4 commercial-sized ones
Okay,
that run the
that's-
secure side of the facility.
Okay.
It's
All right.
replacing all of
I
those.
just want to make sure that was in the record properly.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Is it typical that jails do their own laundry? I mean, is that something typical or?
It is. We just actually, through the energy savings plan, put in an environmental laundry system that makes it more efficient, uses less hot water and different chemicals. So it is very typical that you would do your own.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
We've already got it.
And I already have a second. Do you have any other questions? Or please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, the next item is to approve an annual service agreement with SmartGov Dude Solutions in the amount of $8,250 for subscription-based operation software to be used by the Building and Electrical Services, Code Enforcement, and Engineering Services Department. This is a single-source vendor. We have a motion to approve by Squire Gorman, second. Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to grant judge executive authority to sign title and all documents relating to the 2020 Continental Cargo Utility Trailer, VIN number 5NHUNS214LU124920, and grant authority to add to the county's insurance. This Operation Pride purchased the trailer for $3,295 and gave it to the Warren Fiscal Court and Stormwater Department. Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve termination in the amount of $2,351 to Miracle Recreation for the purchase of 3 picnic tables for White Park for the Warren County Parks Department. This is a state price contract.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 26 is to grant judge executive authority to sign service agreement with the Ice Rink Events in the amount of $118,100 for installation and removal of the Soki Ice Rink for the period November 21st, 2019 through January 5th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Any discussion or questions? Okay. Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve a determination in the amount of $18,300 to Axon Enterprise, Inc. for the replacement of 12 tasers at the Warren County Regional Jail. It's a single source, no cost to Warren County. It's paid for through the capital improvement funds from renewing the Sikaris contract as well. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions?
Can we get them to bring those for demonstration on Mr. Gorman when they
I
come
think
in?
he would
See how well
probably
they
volunteer
work.
that.
Yeah, we'd like to see how well they work.
Yeah. $1,500 a piece for it.
He was asking
We
if,
want to know, can you, once you get the new tasers, can you bring one to court and practice on
If you'll give me that order, I'd be happy to do that. Yeah. Some of the ones we're replacing are original models that they put out that are no longer supported. You can't get the parts for them, so
We want a demonstration.
we can arrange it.
this is the same brand though. I mean,
Yes.
they all come from the,
Taser International was bought by Axon, or they rebranded, but it's the same company.
okay. All right. Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire
Yes,
McWhorter.
ma'am.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. The next item is to approve interfund transfers for Warren County.
So moved.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 29 is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $4,504.20 to Tri-State International Trucks for repairs to the 2001 International 4900 dump truck at the Warren County Road Department.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young. Second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
The next item is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $4,186.35 to Clark Mosquito Control for 55 gallons of mosquito spray for the Warren County Road Department, where they spray the city and county roadways and all the property that goes, what is it, about 300 feet each way? It's where it's supposed to, of course, it depends on how the wind blows, I guess, but they've put in a lot of work on this. And has the city helped with any of these chemicals this year? Maybe we can get them to help on the next one.
And the one meeting the mayor doesn't show up for.
Pardon me?
The one meeting the mayor does, he's been here the last 3 or 4 meetings, and finally the one.
Yeah,
meeting
he
we need
skipped
him-
this one
Yeah,
because he
skipped
saw this on the agenda, I think. All right, we have a motion to approve. Squire Cummings, second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions?
Hey, Jerry, have spraying beat up? Are we doing more this year in the past, or is it about the same we've done in the past? About the same? I just know there's been a lot of public awareness made about it. I figured y'all got more calls on it. I was just curious if we were up on.
Yeah, anytime it's on the news or in the paper, we get flooded with websites.
The chemicals went up considerably over the last 2 or 3 years with the Zika virus being spread by certain types of mosquitoes that migrated northward, and they've gone from like $1,500 a barrel to $3,500 a barrel, and now $4,500 a barrel, or $4,100 a barrel. It's pretty tough pill to swallow, but it sure does, it really does help throughout the county, and we appreciate all the work you all put in at night for this. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any other questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve a determination in the amount of $8,362.72 for 4 restraint chairs for Safety Restraint Chair, Inc. for the Warren County Regional Jail. There are 3 quotes received, and this was the lowest and best quote. No cost to Warren County. General funds paid out of the capital improvement funds from renewing the Sakaris contract again.
Yes, sir.
Anything else, Jailer Herman?
This year's, there's a check each year of the 3 remaining on my term, and this year's was $245,000. So we're trying to use those funds as best we can to replace some of the old equipment and implement some things at the jail that don't come out of the general fund. But these particular chairs, anything corrections grade is very expensive. We're replacing 3 of these 4 are replacing chairs that are probably 10 years old, that are no longer recommended by CAECO, that have cross restraining straps that can affect the way the inmate breathes. So I think it's important that we spend this money.
Okay, and you might want to get with the media in regard to, they'll probably have questions about the Sakaris contract and what it means. And
yeah.
Okay. We have a motion.
Anything else?
Squire Cummings. Second. Squire Lawrence. Discussion. Questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to accept the lowest and best negotiated bid from Signs Express in the amount of $67,339 for the LED sign at Buchanan Park. Motion by Squire Cummings. Second by Squire Payne. Discussion or questions? Nikki, would
I just want to be clear, Stormwater's paying for the sign, not the Parks Department, so. Stormwater is going to pay for the sign, and we're going to have both our logos, and so he can advertise his events and things, but Stormwater's paying for it.
any additional questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next item is to approve emergency determination in the amount of $2,693.38 to Kenny Outdoor Solutions for repairs to the Toro spreader at the Warren County Parks Department.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Payne, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion, questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings. Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve emergency determination amount of $3,754 to 3B Automotive for repairs to the 2018 Ford 350, F-350 truck for the Warren County Parks Department. Motion by Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Let's call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 35 is to approve the amended budget for the Warren County Sheriff's Department. There are no additional funds requested. This was changed, they just changed some positions around and reallocated funds for the operating expenses. Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Next item is to approve the wellness agreement for 2019-20 fiscal year at a cost of $20,000 with Peel and Holland.
So moved.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second.
second by Squire McWhorter. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes,
Esquire
ma'am.
Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we need to pay the bills. Will the treasurer please present the claims to the court?
General Fund, $1,265,197. Road Fund, $80,998. Jail Fund, $233,934. Stormwater Fund, $21,973. LGA Fund, $33,000. And Fed Forfeiture Fund, $295. Be happy to answer any questions.
Make a motion, we pay claims as submitted.
Motion by Squire Young to approve claims as submitted, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire Payne.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire McWhorter.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman. Esquire Young.
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sheriff Hightower? How's everything this morning?
We have a promotion ceremony here at 10:30 for Eric Bull. He is our next, going to be our next supervisor for the Warren County Sheriff's Office. So happy to have him and his family come in here at 10:30. And then Major Wiles has been working on something for the community called checkpoints, doing checkpoints throughout Warren County. He went to some training a couple of weeks ago, and the highway safety has basically shown statistically that we can reduce traffic accidents and fatalities by up to 20% by doing these periodically throughout Warren County. So we're going to be specifically targeting some areas where we've had some fatality accidents. And so the volunteer fire departments are going to be coming out, helping with lighting, helping kind of redirect some of the traffic. And so, and then we'll be pushing them into some parking lot areas. So maybe every third or fourth vehicle, we may be checking them just to make sure that they're in compliance with their operator's license, insurance, and not under the influence of any drugs or alcohol. So
We haven't actually started those yet. You told me about them, but I didn't
yes,
know.
sir.
When will they actually start?
It'll be the 19th. The evening of the 19th is going to be the first one from basically 8 o'clock that night, 8 p.m. to midnight. So we have approximately, I guess, 10 deputies going to be out there that night. State police may be joining us. And we have what's called the FOT money, the federal overtime money that we have allocated. That's through a grant. So we utilize that funding to help pay for the overtime for the deputies to come out and work these operations.
And
So-
you notify the media before these are set up, I mean, where they're going to be and so forth?
Yes, sir. We've already contacted the media. They've already done a press release. They also did a piece on it, just with the overarching scheme of what we're trying to do, educate people and ensuring that they're not out operating under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Any questions on that? We will be coming to a neighborhood near you. So, thank you.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Yates.
Thank you, Judge.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Jailer Harmon. Thank you. Congratulations. All your family. Mr. Comer? Nothing? All right. All right. Mr. Moore. Mr. Moore is...
His driver's Camaro today.
Oh, that's right. He's out at the Camaro Fest. That's going on today and tomorrow. Mr. Young. That was a major deal to get that through the Transportation Cabinet. We're really appreciative. Mr. Pearson. Oh, Travis, good to see you. Mr. Brandstetter could not be with us today. He is short-staffed and is upstairs working away. And said he's going to watch us on TV. So if anyone wants to say anything bad about Bob, come on up to the microphone. Mr. Appling. Mr. Peterson? Ms. Alexa, of course, is not here with us today. Mr. Markram is not with us today. Okay. Chief? Chief? Anything from the fire departments? All right.
Get us some good bids.
Okay. Squire Payne, you have anything?
Judge, I'd like to congratulate the 12-year-old Bowling Green East All-Stars for winning the district tournament and advancing to the state.
That's great.
Yeah, what was the 11-year-olds?
11-year-olds were runner-up.
Runner-ups. Both those Owensboro teams were tough teams.
Oh, yeah.
So congratulate their 11-year-olds that we were expecting both of those to walk away with that, but they played a great game. Okay. Squire Lawrence?
Thank you, Judge.
Squire Gorman?
Thank you, Judge.
Like your new glasses.
Thank you. I left my other ones on vacation.
That's you're a trendsetter.
That's it. That's it. And hopefully someone else will enjoy them down the aisle.
Squire McWhorter?
I do have something. My good friend Odell Lewis will be 94 years young on July the 16th.
July 16th, 94.
Next week. And
Happy birthday to Odell.
Happy birthday, Odell. They always watch our the TV.
I'm hoping he and Charles are watching.
I'm sure they are. I know they are.
Happy birthday to him. I recall Clyde Spink's birthday was around this time. July 8th. Okay, I know it was sometime around this time.
Yes.
But of course, obviously, we miss Clyde. Squire Young?
Thank you, Judge. Couple of things. Good job, Bob. I would like to wish my lovely wife of 47 years a happy birthday today.
Happy birthday. That's amazing. And
Y'all just be quiet. That's enough. All
How long-
she needs.
how long has she been with you?
47 years, he said.
47 years.
47 years.
Judy and I have been married all our lives.
Yeah. Well, she told me that was two of her best years. Squire Cummings.
Couple of things, thank you, Judge, couple of things. Tomorrow, the Boys Community Summer Picnics tomorrow at 5 o'clock at the Boys Community Center. So if y'all want to come out and have some, all kinds of fun activities out there. And then it's a little bit early, but I'm going to announce it now so those who want to get on their schedule early. August the 15th, the sheriff and I are going to be out at Alvaton at the community center at the gym, doing a meet and greet for the community out there at Alvaton, and that's August the 15th. Starts at 6 o'clock.
August 15th.
At 6 o'clock. So anybody wants to come out, love to have you.
All right. Thank you. I also want to mention that not only Josh is out at the Camaro Fest, but a number of other people as well, and that's today and tomorrow from 8 a.m. through roughly 5 o'clock each day. May last a little bit longer. At Beach Bend Park, the cost is $20 for a one-day pass or $30 for a two-day pass. But it's worth going to if you want to see some really good-looking cars. Ms. Milliken.
Happy birthday, 94th birthday to Odell Lewis, because he drove me to every football and basketball game during high school. Happy birthday to Judy Young, and my sympathies to Lori Hare, who lost her mother earlier this week. Yeah, and she's very sad for them. But I have been having a great time in fiscal court with Miss Mills and Mr. Reynolds back here, so we've had a great time, and they've really enjoyed it.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I hope you have.
It is.
Thank you all for being here. Mr. Burrow?
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Hale?
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Smith?
Thank you so much.
Okay, our next fiscal court meeting is Friday, July 26th at 9 a.m. But our next military bricklaying, our Veterans Memorial bricklaying, is at 8 a.m. on Friday, July 26th. So be sure to be at the Veterans bricklaying on the 26th. And any other announcements? No other business to be brought before this body. I seek a motion to adjourn. Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Payne. Discussion? Questions?